And you have another screenplay, another film too, don't you?
Well, the Occam's Razor and getting Let's Get Rowdy made into a film are the two big ones on my agenda right now. Let's Get Rowdy, Joseph E. Levine. When they paid me to make this film, we got the cast and the crew together, and we're ready to shoot. We had Liz Shue, who had just done Cocktail with Tom Cruise, and we had a little rock star we found in Scotland to play this guy like Joe Cocker, who was gorgeous. He looked like Robert Plant. He talked a little too fast because the Scottish dialect was a little too fast, and we had a voice coach working with him to slow him down. But the problem was, just as we got ready to make the movie, Mr. Levine passed away. So I have the shooting script. They spent $750,000 in development to take my story, which would have taken millions and millions of dollars, because in the book there's a big rock festival and there's a riot and the towers fall over and all this crazy stuff happens. And money is stolen in this thing, much like happened to Led Zeppelin on one of their tours, where a couple $100,000 mysteriously disappeared, which is another story. Anyway, they condensed it all down, so it would only take at the time maybe $7, $8, $9 million to make. Right now, probably in today's marketplace, it would take maybe 20. And then we go back and we get all the kids, and then we make sure that they all have the right T-shirts on, their hair's right and everything, and we make a 70s rock and roll movie with a great original soundtrack. So that's the music part of me.
It's clearly evident that God's really had His hand on your life the whole.
Thank you. That means a lot to hear that. And that takes me back to writing again, because the spoken and communicated word, if it's positive, means more than any gesture, anything, any structure, anything. It all resorts back to that, which is why I like being a writer for hire and working with people that have stories that have a chance to either be books, or to be books and or screenplays and or motion pictures. So
now how would I be able to? How can people buy your books? What do they need to do?
Okay, if you'd like a copy of Let's Get Rowdy in the trade size, as you can see, this is a regular novel. You'll see the difference in the book. It's $29.95 plus $5 shipping. You can email me at mjm111@aol.com for a check or money order. There are other ways to do it with credit cards. One of them is a website called Mommy Media, MOMEMEDIA. If you go up on Google and just type that, you can go into that website. In a couple days it'll be there, which you can get it for if you just want to use a credit card. But a check or a money order, you email me at mjm111 and I'll give you the instructions. And these are just one-time autographed. I sign these books. If you went to Borders Bookstore, you could probably order it, but you wouldn't get it signed. And it's $5 shipping, $29.95 plus $5 shipping. And Occam's Razor is very close to that, believe it or not. The price of it's almost the same. This is the one that's very close to being a movie. We have the crew together, and the funding is almost a go. So this may be on the screen in the next year and a half.
And all that info that Michael just mentioned it's all on the Movies for a Better World website. So you can just go there, and however you want to pay, check or money order or a credit card, there's links to and the pertinent info.
I guarantee you that you won't read a book like this ever again, because I'm one of the few guys, one of the insiders that stood backstage and went on tour, on the airplanes, on the shows, on the festivals, and saw all this stuff happen. And the monkey smoking the cigarette and drinking the champagne, taking pictures. I mean, this is all the stuff that I saw, that I put in a fictional form with this character so I could tell it just the way it was, instead of mentioning real people, which I would have had to been very careful about, because some of them, weren't very nice. Also, I think you mentioned, Jim, YouTube and MySpace?
Yes. MySpace.com/ / Movies for a Better World. And also Michael's personal MySpace is myspace.com / MJM111. And on YouTube, you can go to youtube.com / MichaelMartineau. All the links should be right there on the screen for you to see as we're going along here.
minutes.
Did you want to talk about that? Can you just say a few words about it or not?
Which one?
I was just wondering if you wanted to talk about due penance.
No.
Okay, all right. Well, Michael, I feel blessed. I mean, myself personally, I decided, God's given me gifts, like through what I do, and to have you, for God to put you in my life, and for us to be here, for me to be here in your home, when you said no to TV stations and people, I feel truly blessed, and I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking the time to share with me.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. It reminds me of my daughter. Just came into my mind when we were in the Virgin Islands. I met my wife, and several years later, my daughter was born. And I didn't want to raise her in the third world because the schools were not very good there. But we tried, and we successfully succeeded in raising her with all the positive values there are in life. And now she's about to graduate cum laude from NYU, and she's an actress, a dancer, and a singer as well, which I believe she has a website called CarrieMartineau.com.
Yes.
And her name is Lady K as far as her music's concerned. But I think she's going to go on and become a teacher, which I'm very proud of, because there we are back again with communication.
Yes.
And the use of words in the proper sense. And that's what she's really good with. And I'm very proud of her because of that. Otherwise, if I hadn't met my wife and we hadn't had a child, I would probably still be in the islands writing stories and sending them up to agents and stuff. But then again, when Let's Get Rowdy was first written, with the initial hardcover, The Strokers, I didn't have an agent or a lawyer. I just sold so many of them, they ended up on people's desks all over the world. And they started calling me in the middle of nowhere in St. Croix saying, "Are you the guy that wrote this book? We want it for this radio station." One radio station, did I tell you this already? About the radio station that bought 4 cases?
No, get
Oh.
out.
One guy walks up to my counter where I'm teaching water sports one day from WMMS in Cleveland, a big rock station at the same
W.
MMS,
Wow.
which I think is still a rocker to this day. It was a station manager, a guy named Walt Taberski, who walked over and he said, "Are you this guy? You were with Hendrix and who and all this, and you wrote this book and so forth?" Well, he took a copy of it, went on the beach and read some of it, came back. He ended up buying 4 cases of the book. I signed each copy for his fans on the show. He took them back to Cleveland, and they had a giveaway thing on the air, a contest where you call up and you give an answer to somebody, some question about the old days and some band and something. Well, it turned out to be one of the biggest promotions in the history of the station. So that was a proud moment, because not because he took 4 cases, but because that many kids were excited about having that touch with the old music, especially today, because some of the music today it's not really awful. I mean, it's to the people who write it, to them it's creative.
Yeah.
But it's not like it was, as you know. I see people with Led Zeppelin t-shirts on that are only 16 years old. And I talk to people who are 55 years old who like Led Zeppelin and they like The Who and they like Joe Cocker and they miss that music and they love that time period.
Yeah.
And that's what this is all about.